Everybody, and welcome back to Nebraska lands. It is late spring. We have some grass to get picked up. I am trying to get some silage in our fermenting silo so we can get to making some TMR once we have some straw. Those of you that watched the live stream that we did toward the end of last week, or maybe watched the replay that I set to release on Monday, know that we were putting fertilizer down on our corn, and we came out here to this grass meadow just outside of the cow pasture there, and well, started picking up some grass. Initially, we used a forage wagon that had a mower also attached to it. I'll show you that here once we get up to the farm. But that was some pretty slow going, so we decided to whip out the old Vicon butterfly and front mower, and then whip out the massive windrower here. This is the Krone Swadro 2000. It can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website, and it is by GTX, none other than our good friend at GTX. This thing has a massive working width of something like 19 meters. We're basically able to windrow 2 passes from our 10.2 meter mowers there, and combine it into one massive windrow. And then we're going to come through with a forage wagon and collect this. Just make this job a whole lot faster. Initially, I had the mower set up on a course play course, but he just wasn't doing what I wanted. So you know what? I just stepped back, punted, and said, you know what? Let's just hire a standard helper. And guess what? The standard helper is doing a mighty fine job indeed of simply mowing north and south. That's all I want him to do. Course play wanted to be a pain. I say let's hire a standard helper, and you know what? He's doing the job a whole lot better. So all of our crops have now emerged. Hopefully we're going to get some growth on our grass here once we move into early summer. I'm hoping to get 2 good cuts off of this grass in late spring and late summer. We also have our alfalfa that we're going to hopefully be collecting and making into some hay. Again, for our TMR mixer. But just look at the reach of this thing. Absolutely massive. Now, you do want to make sure you have a good bit of horsepower to pull this because it is heavy. Can easily kind of outweigh your tractor. So it's been a few weeks since we've had any Farm Sim 22 news. Hoping we get a little bit of knowledge drop between now and FarmCon, all the way in the end of July. We should have hopefully a podcast coming out very soon, and hopefully that will have some more Farm Sim 22 information included within it. I think what we'll do is we'll just park this here, let our mower do his job, and we're just going to run over here and get our forage wagon. Now, in other news related to the channel, we are quickly coming to the end of our SnowRunner game playthrough. I've said in some of the SnowRunner live streams that I do not have any interest in picking up the Season 2 pass. That is basically because, well, SnowRunner's been fun, but there are other things, other games that I want to get to. And continuing to do SnowRunner content is just going to inevitably keep me from getting to that. And I have to say, one of the things that I want to get to is something that we have introduced into the channel with a couple videos so far, and that is, let's get back into some iRacing, some true sim racing, if you will. You know, we've done playthroughs on F1 2019, F1 2020, but they are at the heart racing games, more arcade than true simulation, in my opinion. So yeah, so we're getting back into some sim racing, full on, you know, full field, player versus player, no AI drivers in iRacing, at least not in the videos or the series that I am going to be using. It can be quite a struggle and quite a challenge sometimes because, well, you are put up against 30 some real drivers all across the world with massive differences in skill and overall racecraft. So yeah, people make mistakes. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody has put in hours upon hours at the racetrack getting ready for the race, and as a result, some days your race ends before it even starts, it seems. But that is racing. So you kind of get into it knowing that there is a risk, but when you do good, there is quite the reward. At least personally, the reward is very satisfactory, very satisfying, knowing that you did a good job. Let's go unload our grass, and I'll show you that new forage wagon we were trying out. I think it works great for smaller areas, maybe not so much for big boys and their toys series, simply because it has a very small working width of something like 2.5 meters. Now this trailer has a very narrow unloading trigger. We want to make sure we hit that. So this is the wagon I was talking about. It's got a little dirty, but it's got a mower actually on the front attached. So it's a pretty interesting device. If you haven't seen it, you unfold it. You turn the mower on, and then you raise and lower the mower. And it basically mows the grass or whatever, the foliage, and puts it in the wagon, and then you can dump it either out the back or left or right. So you can set it up to side dump or dump straight out the back. So that can also be rather handy. We did get all of our corn fertilized at this point. I'm gonna wait for another growth stage to get out there and get to spraying the herbicide. I find that you really need to apply the herbicide and the fertilizer in different growth stages. They just don't seem to work so well if you apply them all at once. looking at our mower over there. Seeing it looks like he has maybe about one more pass, 2 more passes to go. Then he'll be done. Couple passes with our rake, and then basically we're going to be collecting our grass throughout the evening. I want to get this all picked up before I go to bed tonight because I do not want this converting to hay. I don't know what my chances are of it converting to hay before I get it picked up, but I do know that if I leave it overnight, my chances of it converting to hay are much greater than if I just go ahead and work through the evening and pick it up. Let's just go ahead and jump into that classic way of bridging time. Good old time lapse, and I'll come back at you tomorrow morning, give you a little bit of summary of what we did, how much silage we got, or how much grass we got picked up to eventually make into silage, and what our plans of action are for early summer. Catch you on the flip. Top of the morning to you, folks. I tell you, we were trying to get all this picked up last night, but it was just getting way too dark. Way too dark. Not very safe to really be able to see where you're going. Didn't want to run into anything. So I decided we would go ahead and just get up early, and this would be the first thing we would get picked up off the field. So we were out here early, probably, I don't know, a little bit after 6 a.m. getting this grass picked up. It is just before 8. Hopefully the final load picked up right here. If not, we'll just have a little bit left over. We'll have to come back and get. But I think pretty much we've got everything done we need to get accomplished for spring. So we're going to be doing some maintenance later today. We need to clean up our mowers. We need to clean up our windrower. We need to clean up our prone trailer here. Got to tend to our cows a little bit. But yeah, quite literally, it is all time to just sit back and watch the grass grow, watch the crops grow. So just as I was fearing, got just a little bit left over. We're gonna have to come back and get. But I'm gonna do that after I let you all go. But I do want to keep you around just so we can kind of summarize how much grass did we get up out of this field here. I don't think we were at full growth. I think we were still only at 2/3 growth. I know there is a camp of players that likes to wait until full growth. But I tell you what, I think you get more product if you pull off multiple cuts at 2/3 growth than waiting to full growth. I think you're going to get less cuts per year, and as such, less overall total product over the course of that given year. Let's go ahead and get this thing unloaded. See what the display board says here. So we've got 38,000 liters of silage already. And we are over 500,000 liters of silage in the silo. 500,000, 540. Let's wait for this belt to finish. 555,000 liters of grass. We got a partial load still out there in the field, and 38,000 liters of silage already made in our silo. So that is great, because if we look at our cow screen, it says we're going to need 1.4 million liters of food for the entire year. So 500,000 liters of silage. Add to that, then 500,000 liters of grass, or hay, I should say, and 500,000 liters of straw. Well, we're gonna have our 1.5 million liters of TMR that we're gonna need to feed our 250 cows for the next year. Of course, we're gonna need even more of that once our cows give birth and all. Go ahead and top off these guys some water. Clean up their area with spilled silage. Now, I have been putting this silage in the TMR mixer, but I could just dump it back here in the trough. Big shout out to all of our farm hands, farm bosses, and farm barons. Thank you all for joining the channel. If you're interested in becoming farm hand, boss, or baron, go ahead and check that, please, that join now button down by the subscribe button. And until next time, happy farming.